Hello there, peas in a pod. Yeah, we're back again, and it's the sort of final episode as we know it.
It is.
So next week we'll start with the allotment flower.
The flower garden, yeah.
Flower garden, yeah. So basically, from after this week, we'll not be putting the flowers on onto peas in a pod. It will be on a separate channel.
Yeah.
This pod will be totally devoted to you. No, that's
veg.
Less totally devoted to veg. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, so it's not the last, but it's a slight change in us in ways. So yeah, and you want flowers next week and plants and all that sort of thing, then head over to the other channel. Yeah. What we've been up to then?
Well, we've just had young Thomas dice up, haven't we?
Yeah. Receive his prizes.
Yeah, from the Sunflower Challenge, which was good. Had a nice day out today, burning off energy.
Oh yeah, you've been on a work swing, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been decent. Something unusual.
Good, yeah. Now, been out and about buying plants now, and I've had quite a few plants that have been sat in pots because of the weather. Then it's cooled down. We had decent rain that could have really done with being followed by a lot more decent rain, but and we just had one night's rain, didn't we? But
we did. It got us some water down though, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining. It has made a difference, but some more would be nice.
It would. It definitely would.
Yeah, especially next couple of weeks, bar next Saturday when it's open day. Because we've got a shows and that coming up, and a lot of stuff's just slightly behind where it should be at this time of year. And a good drop of rain might just get us off at line with it. But same for everybody, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I mean it's busy for us now, isn't it? Obviously, with shows coming up, just making sure that everything's ticking along right, and hopefully we get no casualties before.
Yeah,
it's all part of the growing game, really.
Yeah, I think it's a decent time just to say thank you and all of you.
Yeah,
it's like as YouTube, it's steady now. You know, as subscribers and things are going up steady, and as TikTok, that's just gone.
It's shot off, hasn't it? It's doing amazing.
It's mentals, really. TikTok. We hadn't sat and tallied them up, but there must be very close to 1 million.
Oh, very.
1 million viewing that.
Yeah, we've got a great following behind us as well. So
we have. Yeah, I think about 6,500 followers on that now. So,
yeah. I think
it's amazing. There's people been on there for like a decade and got nowhere near that.
No.
So going on a decade. However long TikTok's been going. It's your department, isn't it, Dan?
No, that's her department.
Oh,
management.
Yeah, that's management. Yeah.
So thank you to you, Kirst. Obviously, you do a wonderful job with that for us.
You do a smashing job. Good on you. And now, seeing as we're not getting burnt alive, we can actually do some episodes, and I can show you some stuff instead of just waffle what we've had for the last 2 weeks. So
we'll crack
on, Dan.
We'll crack on.
Thank you. Right, so I just want to show you quickly before we go on to next thing we're doing. I pricked these wallflowers out. I think it was either on YouTube or Facebook. What I did, there's some gone into these little cell trays, put some into some 9-packs, and then I went old school. This is all just to compare, which is the best way of doing it. And I put them into a seed tray. That's the way we always did it. You know, when I started in this game, we always did it in that. They've really struggled.
Yeah.
Not so much because of the small volume of compost, although it doesn't help, but the really dry conditions. You can't get enough water in them little cells when it's dry.
No.
12 packs, which I sort of took over now from doing stuff straight to a seed trace. They haven't done too bad, but the old school, you know, they're cock on. They're a lot more in front of what they are. What you can see with these as well, Dan, is there's more or less, I mean, these are going for open day, but there's more or less every tray's got a miss, you know.
Yeah.
It's not really a full tray. There's one lagging or two lagging behind in every tray. So they're going, this tray's better, that one's a bit better. So they're going to have to get replaced. So yeah, come next season, I think I'll be looking to do a lot more with cabbages and stuff after initial germination. going back into rows in trays. Just gives them more volume of compost, and they seem to be getting a better root system and growing better.
I think one of the things to show as well is just while we're here is obviously we always talk that you get disasters.
Yep.
Like I say, this were with the heat.
Yeah, that were heat. Yeah, they've just, you can see they've just frazzled.
Yeah.
There's been one or two what's got through. There's one here because it's been shaded. That's made it through, I'd have thought.
Yeah.
Maybe, but then again, they've gone. So yeah, but not every egg's a bird, and that's what you have to accept when you start gardening. Right, so the first thing second thing we're going to do on this episode is I've got this area in front of my shed. Right, Dan can get in on it. This was just blank soil. Basically, we've been on allotment, you use what you've got. I inherited a lot of old broken slabs and things like that. Tripped at tip maybe, but I thought no, we'll have a 1970s retro and I'll do some block paving just to put a bit of an odd surface down in front of the shed. But it looks really harsh and odd. So what I want to do is I want to get some plants in to break it up that's like a ground cover, and they're actually alpine plants. I like to call them nook and cranny plants because they'll go in any little nook and cranny. You're getting grass growing through it as well. They'll stop that because they'll smother it out. So I've took a couple of the smaller pieces out and I'll just go pop some alpines in. So the house leeks is the first one, which is sempervirens, is that one. Yep. Now there's tricks with these plants. A trick's the wrong word. There's a way of doing it with these. Alpines cannot stand wet. They cannot stand to be sat in wet soil. So this soil, we're on heavy clay. I've got that out. And then I've done a 50-50 mix. Sharp sand and topsoil. Yep. Don't use compost. Dries out too quick. Plus, they grow up in crevices of rocks in mountains. They don't get nutrients. So they don't really want anything what's got a lot of feeding like commercial bought composts have. So not even Johnny Nis, just go for straight topsoil. Some decent topsoil will do it. Yep. Oh, and also what I've got is just a bucket pot with some sharp sand in. I'll show you what that's for. Bit shallow, bit deep even. Sit him in and we'll backfill him.
So will this be a hardy plant? Will you have to miss it, or can you step on it? And
Yep, it'll take all that once it gets going. I mean, I think I've done them. I've managed to do them as well. I thought about opening the door.
Yeah.
So they're not at that side where they're going to get swiped with door. Yeah. But they'll hug the ground. So anything, if you've got a rise on it, it'll go above them.
Yeah.
Just pack that in a bit. And also, they're very easy to propagate. You can just cut one of these rosettes off.
Yeah.
Put it in some compost and it'll soon root.
Oh, it's always good to know.
Right, you can use gravel, which is it's time immemorial. They use gravel like what they call a scree on alpine gardens, rockeries, if you like. I'm going to use sharp sand because that's what I've got. So again, you want that sharp sand because it's got grit in it.
Yeah.
So it'll drain. Yep. And then I'm just making a collar around them. So all it is, if we get heavy rain, winter weather, it don't sit. You do not want water to sit there with alpines. That's the worst thing. That's how you lose them. I mean, I've even had people who think that they've lost alpines during winter because of weather.
Yeah.
You know, they're alpines, they grow in snow.
It don't really bother.
It's the drainage. This one is little campanula. So it's flowering, that one, in summer. And as you can see, Dan, it's really small, tight, little. But they'll take it, this is their natural habitat, going in these little crevices. It's where they want to be. In fact, you can go straight in. And get the brush out and clean this off later. Sand again. You can always top your sand up as it, you know, gets washed through as well.
Yeah.
I mean, gravel perhaps is a better option because, you know, it'll sit there, gravel, won't it? But as long as you get something underneath the neck of the plant, don't let that be sat on soil at all, of any types. I will give these a drop of water at some stage. And then hopefully, in a time, they will spread.
Yeah, and fill out.
And we'll have, I like what you called it earlier, we're a living path.
A living path.
Yeah, a living path. We'll pop this other sempervirun in there. Again, very small. In fact, we'll have him right up there, look.
I mean, it's good to finally see this path going in, because it were a thought you had a fair few months ago.
It were, yeah. Yeah, and then this ain't others happened, hasn't it?
That's it.
We get there in the end, don't we now?
That's it.
Might sometimes have to go a long way around, but we'll get there. Champion. Stick that in there. I've got one more campanula over here then. We'll bob that in. Just to break this up. Somebody turned and started feeling a bit wet now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a little bit cooler. It's overcast a little bit, so hey, we might get something, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Give him a good old dollop of sand. Or as it may be. That's it, simples really, you know. Just about making sure you've got that drainage sorted. Yeah, don't plant them straight into heavy clay like what we've got. The top 6 inches of the soil hold too much water for them, and when it's cold in winter and water, that's what kills them. Plant them good free draining stuff, 50-50 sharp sand and soil, and then put a collar on them, gravel, sharp sand again. Yep, so got them in. This area, what it is, it's got grass seed and it's slow at coming in this area. And then I mentioned to you about extending this, well, this is one plant, this dwarf pink flowering buddleia.
Yeah.
But I'm going to run it round there and run it up there as an edge. So as we go into greenhouse to look at this lavenders that I picked up today, I'll pick up on that. By the way, that plant cost me £10.
Jeez.
But it didn't.
Why is that?
I'll show you. So £10 for one plant, especially a buddleia, you know, might sound expensive. I got 25 of them there, Dan.
Wow.
Cost me 40p now, that plant.
That's great.
Yeah, yep, that's how you do it. You say a nice specimen of a plant that you can get cuttings off it, you don't always have to think, oh, that's a lot of money, because you can really whittle it down.
That's great.
So these lavenders then, they're £1 a piece. I've got 3. We're going to plant 2 in a minute, Dan. This is a nice certain way of planting them. Why these are £1? I think they're a perennial plant, so it's not really something you'd normally sell off cheap at end of season, because they can keep them through winter and they'll still sell lavenders. They'll sell more or less all year round. In winter, people stick them in a windowsill, you know, just for scent as a pot plant.
Yeah.
But what I don't want with lavenders is this, look. You see where it's down back here?
Yeah.
This is worst at feet, so I have chose this one. That will never come back. That will never bush up.
Right.
It'll never go green again, and it will keep growing. That's why I see old lavenders, what are really woody at bottom and a little bit of growth on top, and, you know, they look terrible. We can cure that, folks. That's why I bought it. So we need some compost, which I've got. I've got a 35 litre bucket. I'm going to show you how to turn a bargain into a miracle. Or an horticultural one, anyway. Right, I've just put a very, very thin layer of compost in that bucket. There might be an inch.
Yeah, there's probably not even an inch.
Right, here we go. I'm going to show you drop propagation. Why is it called drop propagation? Because I go drop. Right, I'll get my secateurs. I'll just take these top bits off. I want this to be slightly lower than the height of this bucket, or definitely not above height.
The smell just coming off of that now.
Yeah, it's a pity it's not smelly vision, isn't it?
Oh, it's great.
It'll take me a minute because it's a 35 litre bucket. So it's nearly half, well, over half a bag of compost. So we're going to fill this bucket to the very top. It's not a bucket, is it, Danham? It's a 35 litre pot.
It's a 35 litre pot, yeah. It's...
You know, I'm going backwards, aren't I? I'll be calling compost muck next. There's a bag of that muck.
Yeah. The old compost.
And the variety, people like that sort of thing, is Spring Break Melanie. The Dutch plant, I can tell where they're packaged and stuff. And this one actually is still patented. That means you're not supposed to reproduce it by taking cuttings for its first 5 years. So you're not taking money off fella who went to trouble to breed it. But we're not doing it commercially. You can do it for your own garden.
Yeah.
You can take, if you bought the plant, you can take cuttings for your own garden. What you can't do by law is sell them. But we don't do that anyway.
No.
Might give some away. So it's gone down. I've buried the lavender. Right, it's a word Dan uses which I like. This is a sleeper.
A sleeper?
Yeah, we'll put this outside now. We'll leave it outside till worst at winter comes and I'll just put it into a cold greenhouse.
Yeah.
They said you can get new plants within 6 weeks with it. I never have. I've always found it takes a season. I think it'll be spring. But what happens with lavender, because I've buried it, is it'll start throwing advantageous roots up a couple of inches down. And then plants will work their way up through compost. I take them off and they're already well established rooted cuttings. And when it does work, this bucket, or this bucket again, this pot, it'll look like grass. Yeah. You know, that's how they'll come up. That's simplest method.
And would that be the only way as well that you can like get a cutting off a lavender, or?
No, you can do, I've got a few outside in pots where this is going. Got a bit battered with weather, to be fair, but I'll show you. You can do tip cuttings. Yeah. You can layer them. You know, so if you slightly damage a stem, bring it down, pin it all down like you would with a strawberry. Yeah. And you'll get a lot of little plants that way as well. That seems to take longer. Yeah. Than what. Can
you split lavender?
No, it's a woody plant. Yeah. You'll kill it. You have to. There's two ways. It's either seed or it's cuttings. Yeah. Seed for lavender's cheap enough to do. I've grown plenty by seed. If you can get these up and away though, you jumping gun, you know, because you'll get more established rooted plants. Yeah. You skip all that pot to pot to pot. These will be garden ready. You can plant them straight out more or less. If not garden ready, they'll at least go into a 1 litre pot. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So these go down here with all propagated stuff done. I'll put them there. Just keep my eye on them. They might need a drop of water. There were some tip lavenders, just a few cuttings here. I know they've rooted because I had them out and had a look at them the other day. They're to put on next week. And right, so planting lavenders, like I say, I bought 3. I've dropped 1. Drop propagation as we call it. I'm going to plant 2. Bit different way of doing it. Check that, lad. I got me planting hose prepared earlier, Dan.
Not Blue Peter, is it?
So these are the other two. They're off that spring break Melanie. Now what I've done is my hole a lot deeper. Right, what lavenders don't want, similar to alpines, they're a Mediterranean plant. They don't want rich soil and feeds. They do not want to be sat in water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we put one of the lavender into planter, we're going to put some of this in, Dan. Get in on that, mate.
Hey, that looks some good stuff.
It's just a bucket full of rubbish. We're not short on this on allotments.
No.
There's plenty. And they're not little incy bits of pebbles and things like that. The chunks. It's rubble. You know, it's builder's rubble. There's bits of brick in here.
Yeah.
Yep. They're in all, mate. What Mediterranean plants hate, beyond anything else, they'll die within a season on you, is poor drainage.
You not have to worry about, obviously, with a bit of concrete in there, you don't have to worry about that getting any lime off or any chemical.
No, there's not enough in there to affect pH, and they're a 6.5 sort of plant anyway, so they're all right with that, yeah. But, oh, you know, anything like that. That's it in bottom of hole, Dan. If you want to get in on it, me old. Oh, get that, Dan. Like magic.
Lovely estimate, that.
No feed. Don't want rich soil. They're used to growing on arid soil. And they're used to growing on a very free draining soil. Don't confuse free draining because they want free draining soil that they don't want water. They do. This will want a good water now, but it's not going to sit in that water. That's the main point of putting all that bricks, debris, rubble in bottom. It's drawing it out. Yeah. They want water, they don't want to sit in water. A lot of people fuss and, you know, kill lavender with giving them too much love, I suppose. Get in there. It's a good way to get shut to some rubbish, Dan.
Hey, it is. It's...
What I will do, this will be on the sister channel. We'll do it week after Rotherham Show, because that'll be about right, which is going to be about 12th of September. I'll show you how to prune a lavender. What a lot of people have problems with lavender, like I mentioned in greenhouse, is that woodiness on stems. Now there's a very simple way to prune them at the right time of the year. We'll never get that. They'll always stop young and young fresh growth on them. Yeah. Oh, a bit out with him. You can put a bit of soil up at the top. Lovely. Also, I'm planting them here. I didn't just randomly think earlier, I'll show how to plant lavenders. I'll dig 2 holes down there. They're really good companion plants with roses.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's up at, name's gone now, RHS Garden at Orlocar.
Yeah.
Yeah, seen them up there at Orlocar with rose and lavender bed, and it looks stunning. Oh, yeah. Same with that, that living path, Dan. Must be going back 30 years now, a garden at Chelsea. And it was like a cottage style planting, but not exactly true because they use alpines, but they've done a brick path.
Yeah.
You know, the old Manchester house bricks, and interplanted it with like sempervirens and that. It was stunning, and things like that, when you're a gardener, they stick with you.
Yeah,
you know, it's 30 years gone. It's still up here when I look at bricks and, you know, bits of path I've got.
Fetches it back.
Yeah, right, I know what we want for the year. Yep, so that's how to plant your lavenders. Get some water in them. You'll not have to worry about them now. I'll show you how to prune them to stop that woodiness, and it'll be right.
Right.
One last thing, then, we to do a bit of grass sowing.
Yeah, let's do.
So we said we we're going to do some. I'll just nip and get my stuff. I'll be 2 seconds, Dan.
No worries.
Show them daily as done. Right, so as you all know, I've changed from bark chippings to grass on paths. Unfortunately, not every path's germinated like that one, and I've grass seeded them.
No.
You know, but that's what I'm aiming for, with a bit of repair on there. So, as it happens, done the paths, we've had the weather, we've had lack of rain. I get areas like this done, where grass seed hasn't took.
Yeah.
You know, it's just been too dry for it, probably in a bit of shade. You know me, I don't want that. That's not good enough for me. I want it to be green. I'm having grass, I'm not having weeds, not having big dirty cracks in soil because of weather. I want it green, I want it like a carpet. There's two ways I can mend that. I can do my standard, which I've mixed some topsoil again, or you could use John Innes #1 with some grass seed. It's where we used to repair cricket squares back in the day when I was doing sports turf, football pitches and such. Yep, so we'd had that to wicket when wicket weren't in use, roll it in, rake it in, water it, bring it up. Can use that, it's not wrong with using that. If you're getting big areas patchy, then you need more of it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to sow some grass seed. Basically this offset bed's going to be like a surrogate lawn.
Right.
So I'm going to lay it up, let it develop, just cut it with hand shears back, you know, rake it off, it's only a small area. And when I get like this section here, a bigger bowl patch, yep, I'll just cut it out of that turf,
yeah,
cut same size square out of there, transfer that to here, you know. So, basically from there. It is windy.
Very windy today. I mean, we always fight with wind.
Right, I'm obviously sowing it. Old motto in gardening was one to rot, one to grow, one foot crow. So remember that with grass seed. The other main thing you need to do, I mean, this is exactly the same as if you're going to do grass seed alone. The theory and the way of doing it's the same, it's just a smaller area. What you're trying to do is keep it as flat as possible. So you don't want none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for one, it'll hold water, so it won't germinate because you've got a dip in it. If it does germinate and grow, you'll miss it with your mower because your mower runs flat. It'll not go like that.
Yeah.
It'll go across it. You know, so it's just generally not the thing to do. I'm just going to get a board. Consolidation done. And this, I will water this before I go today. This isn't something where I can leave it and water it tomorrow. As soon as that camera stops rolling, this will get watered. But now, it's coming to the ideal time of year to do this now. I did my grass seeding at total wrong time of year because I'm impatient. But it hasn't done bad. I'll give myself a pat on back for that.
It's about 3 months it's been done now.
Yeah,
probably about
going
that.
on that way, yeah. So I'll give that a good dose of water. You can cover it if you want to, I'm not going to bother. It'll be fine. I think with weather we've got tipped, it'll be through in no time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll not waste this, Dan, seeing as I've mixed it. So everything's really hard and technical in gardening, isn't it? You have to be,
yeah, it's,
you know, it's
I suppose once you've seen the methods or got the methods and you take it on board, it gets simpler, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It's that keep it simple in it all the time.
That's it. Don't have to overcomplicate things and
don't make work for yourself.
No.
That's how hard it is. Took me, I raked that over this morning, took me 5 minutes, that's took me 5 minutes. longest bit will be waiting for the seed to germinate. That's just me and my OCDs where it's a bit. So water that. I'm about buggered. We're not used to doing out on this now.
It's usually sat on bench.
So yeah, I think that'll do us, mate, for this week.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be on with veggies.
Yeah.
And new channel, I do believe, open to. I'll start putting some spring bulbs in.
Yeah, and we'll be covering our
The
show
open
next
day.
week. Yeah. Which hopefully we've got a good thing as well coming off the back of that.
Oh yeah, we might have. Yeah.
So hopefully that plays out.
Let you know more about that on next week's.
Definitely.
Thanks a lot, guys.
See you later.
Keep gardening.